Boat work has been so slow. You can start it that way. So boat work's been pretty slow, mostly because all that's left is projects that we're doing ourselves, and Patrick has been preoccupied studying for his comprehensive exams for his PhD, which means that he's at home and can't help me here. So there's a lot of little boat projects that I'm trying to finish myself. We also both got pretty severe cases of COVID, which knocked us out for over a month. We're finally recovering and able to work on the boat again. So this video is going to be all of the random boat projects that we've been doing ourselves. One of the main projects that I've been working on is tiling on the boat. I'm really happy with how it turned out, so come see for yourself. So we finally got our rocks in. We're gonna do this kind of mosaic webbing to go back behind this area, and we chose this tile because we don't have to cut the actual rocks themselves. We can just cut the webbing and we won't actually need any sort of stone cutter. So it's going to be a lot easier for us to do. They're going all behind me in this area in the aft stateroom, all in this back area here, and then underneath this upper part is where the infinity fabric is going to go along here. And this section right here is going to be covered by a piece of wood that'll just slide over so that we can still get access to this if we need to. We used a special silicone pool adhesive for this so that it would be mildew resistant, would flex with the boat, and obviously be okay to be exposed to water. It was relatively easy to adhere to the fiberglass, but obviously we had to wait for it to dry to finish grouting. Also a shelf that's going in this area right here that we're kind of gonna make work ourselves. It's a floating shelf, but we're gonna put a rail on it because obviously we need that for the boat, and then we're gonna take off this little piece of counter and the mosaic tile is gonna go along that back wall. This morning I pulled the piece of Backsplash off the wall. We had already installed the shelf, and I have all of the tile pieces laid out to finish this piece under the shelf. Grouting was definitely a bit more of a challenge. I've never done something like this before. I used a silicone grout for these areas as well so that they would flex, but it was really hard to wipe it all off and make it look nice and clean before it dried. So there are some areas that are a little wonky, but it looks pretty good. I'm working on the boat again today. I was here all day yesterday because Patrick is at home. He has his comprehensive exams for his PhD coming up, which moves him from a PhD student to a PhD candidate, and he's kind of freaking out about it. It's the last big test that he has to do in his academic career other than his thesis defense. Anyways, he can't help. He's too busy focused on that. So I'm just trying to finish up a lot of the aesthetic touches on the boat. So yesterday I finished grouting all of this countertop behind me. It's not perfect by any means, but I think it looks pretty good. I'm really excited with it. I think I did a pretty good job given that when we first started, I embarrassingly did not even know how to use a caulk gun. We also worked on putting in vinyl, headliner, fabric, and wallpaper to a few of the fiberglass areas, and then accents in the others. For the majority of the fiberglass areas on the boat, we used this infinity woven vinyl. It's meant for marine flooring applications, so is mildew resistant and contours to the curves of the boat. This area is all done except the trim. We ordered the infinity vinyl many months ago and unfortunately did not order enough, so we put a different type of vinyl flooring up on the sides of the hull. So now both of these materials are in every room of the boat. And finally, I did hours upon hours of paint touch-ups, and unfortunately, I keep finding spots that need even more touch-ups. So I have a feeling that I'm never going to be quite done with that. The whale's finally done. We painted it blue when we first got the boat, and I pretty much immediately decided that I didn't like it and spent at least a good 30 hours resanding it and varnishing it, and I think I like it much more.
While I wasn't able to help out too much these past couple months, I did help with some of the safety equipment, putting in a new compass to replace our old, really broken one. So of course a compass doesn't just fit, even though it's the same brand as what was already there. This was made by Ritchie, but obviously from the 1970s, original. And here's our new compass, also made by Ritchie. It's the right size, but the holes don't match up, so I have to make a new template so that I can mount this to this. So I just finished the last big test of my academic career. For the past 4 months, I've been pretty much continuously studying, not really able to do much else, but I passed. And the test itself was extremely tiring. It's about 4 hours of standing up in front of the room, in front of my committee, as they grill me with questions. Now all I have to do is finish up my projects, my research projects. Time to have some fun.
In preparation for actually going sailing and leaving our dock, and also making sure that our commercial charter is legal, we got brand new life jackets. But almost immediately their box flew into the water, so Patrick went on a little rescue mission to make sure we're not leaving our trash in the harbor. We also installed all of our necessary safety placards, and now that it's summer, we're just waiting for the perfect weather window so that we can actually go out and start sailing. And of course, right when we got the perfect weather conditions, we experienced more engine trouble. I guess that's boat life. Join us next time as we attempt to work through all of our engine trouble and rewire the entire boat.